there's one thing I'll give Marvel's Avengers is that it's lasting a lot longer than I anticipated. I thought this game would be dead by now, but I mean, the game came out back in September 1st, 2020. It's been over 2 years since its release, and somehow it's still online, and they are releasing new content for it. Unfortunately, that new content is not particularly compelling, and it's not helped by the initial reception surrounding this game. The meta score, the user score, both quite low due to both technical issues and design issues, and just turning this game into a live service, a genre that just isn't well suited for what many hoped would end up being more of like a single-player type of experience, or at least something more campaign-driven with potential co-op elements seeped in there. Mainly, people just wanted like a Marvel Spider-Man type of thing, but done with the Avengers. We didn't get that. We got a live service that really is not among the best live services out there. Does not stand out in this crowded pack. It's just very generic and boring overall, unfortunately. Even if there are aspects of combat and the mechanics surrounding it that are compelling, but it just can't carry the entire game. Which is why the player base continues to be paltry compared to its all-time peak of almost 30,000 players, 28,145 according to Steam charts, which by itself isn't really even all that impressive when it comes to peak concurrent players for a live service. And usually with a live service, you want that player base to be sustained, or hell, increase over time if you keep making compelling content. But you can see right here, from September 2020 to November 2022, there's this gradual decrease with occasional spikes when new updates release. But as of late, we've been looking at numbers in the low triple digits, low 200s. We're seeing a bit of a resurgence in players because there was a new content release. Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, was recently added. But, you know, for a major new character addition, you'd expect for a healthy live service for these numbers to still look higher than they are, but we're still in the sort of triple digits. Really not a good sign for a kind of environment where the number of players and how many people play the game, you know, that serves as sort of the blood and the lifeline of a game like this, where you do want to be able to find other players easily and you want a thriving community for this game to be able to support itself. And the situation isn't helped by the fact that when the game finally does release new content as a live service, that content just isn't compelling enough, and it just becomes clear that this game is running on fumes, that they definitely downsized the development team for this game. It just shows that this game is running out of steam and ideas. So with this latest update, they did things like increase the power level cap to give more reasons to grind, essentially, but they did also add the Winter Soldier, and that'd be cool if it weren't for the fact that the addition of this character doesn't feel as substantial as it could, because it is yet another Echo character, essentially. It also doesn't help matters that the character model for the Winter Soldier is being panned for its rather generic-looking character modeling and design. It just looks off, you know what I mean? Which is, I think, a criticism that all the Marvel heroes faced in Marvel's Avengers. There's just something about the way they were brought to life that make them look like knockoff versions of the respective characters. Winter Soldier's just no different. I do agree that this just looks very strange. The headline here, Winter Soldier revealed in Marvel's Avengers, and oh god, what's wrong with him? Yeah, you know, I can't quite place my finger on it. Is it like the forehead or the hair, or just, I mean, I don't know. It just looks bizarre. The hair, the whole head feels wrong. I'm feeling the same thing. It's one of those things where like your subconscious just doesn't feel comfortable looking at the character model. There's just something about it that you can't quite pinpoint that's a little uncanny. But you know what your subconscious will thank you for? The comfort and convenience of carrying around one of these awesome wallets and key cases from the sponsor of today's video, The Ridge. I've been using this style of wallet for literally years now, and I've always enjoyed how minimalist, compact, wieldy, and durable they are compared to traditional wallets, while giving me all the room I need to store all of the cards and occasional cash that I carry around. Ridge in particular drew my eyes because of their design. Love this one right here that emanates sparkles of crystalline blue with a cool looking abstract pattern and a matte-like texture that gives it a premium feel. And this is just one of many colors, patterns, and designs you can choose from. As for the key case, this was not something that I had tried before, but it very quickly became a great convenience to safely store my most frequently used keys in a way that makes them easy to locate. If these seem like they could be up your alley, you can use my link, ridge.com/yongyeah, to save up to 40% on purchases through December 22nd. That's ridge.com/yongyeah. And with a 99-day money-back guarantee and a lifetime warranty on all purchases, you'll have ample safety net to make sure that they are to your satisfaction. But going back to the Winter Soldier edition to Marvel's Avengers, at least if this felt like a substantial new hero addition and character addition to the game, people might be able to overlook it, but then people found out that this is very much a character that recycles existing movesets, especially where Captain America is concerned, but also combines some elements of Black Widow into this one character. So this is a video that gained a bit of traction, thousands of likes, highlighting the fact that the Winter Soldier sort of basic combo attacks are the exact same animation as the one for Captain America. You can see this yourself. So you can see the 1, 2, 3, and the kick and the thrust, and then the arm shove and all these things. He'll eventually show Captain America's moveset. Right here you can see. He'll immediately switch to Captain America. And as he, engages with his moveset, you can see it's pretty much damn near identical animations. And a lot of people are kind of highlighting how this really shows that this game has no budget, is what this user speculates. Avengers budget is non-existent at this point, my god. And plenty of people have been mocking the fact that, man, after all these years, after all this time, when the game really could use a spark of something that gives us hope that maybe there is an opportunity for this game to recover, you give us this, and it just feels very deflating for a game that already feels like it's in a pretty sad state. And scrolling down, you'll find comments like, he seriously has the exact same moveset as Captain America? Is that what I'm seeing right now? Literally the exact same animation, says Iron Ninja here. Further scrolling down, also Bucky can lift Mjolnir because the animations for Cap lifting it are on Bucky. Honestly, that's really funny, responds this other Twitter user. Now, mechanically speaking, Echo characters don't tend to be exactly the same. You know, there's still enough variations where it is a little different to play this character, and with Bucky Barnes, with Winter Soldier here, he does mix up both Captain America and Black Widow movesets. Not to say like he's a complete one-to-one clone of the characters whose movesets were given to him, but it still doesn't change the fact that it would have been nice to have a character who feels wholly unique instead of like a mashup of two characters, especially when so many character releases for Marvel's Avengers thus far have been Echo characters. So, for example, scrolling down here through this list, Kate Bishop and Hawkeye are essentially echoes of each other. You've got Mighty Thor here, who is just the echo character of Thor, so on and so forth. Spider-Man, unfortunately, is just exclusive to PlayStation. Black Panther, I think, is among the more unique character releases, and that whole update with Black Panther, I think, was the most substantial an update has felt for this game. But even then, it doesn't feel like it's on the scale that gives you confidence that this is going to be a thriving long-term life service and that it has the potential for this great comeback. It just feels like it's coasting by and releasing yet another Echo-ish kind of character in the form of the Winter Soldier, who you could really go out of your way to give a more unique moveset. It's just discouraging. It really just doesn't paint a good picture surrounding this game's future. Now, over the last few years, people have data mined Marvel's Avengers, so we have an idea for what characters they might be working on. So right here, 1 year after the list of data mined characters, and they've crossed off the ones that are already out. And then beyond that, you got Ant-Man and the Wasp. They're probably going to be echoes of each other. Vision, Doctor Strange, Falcon, Marvel, Mockingbird, Quake. Winter Soldier's out now. Scarlet Witch, Captain Marvel, She-Hulk, going to be an echo character for Hulk, most likely. War Machine, an echo character for Captain America, potentially. But there are some characters here who could potentially see more unique movesets that could help spruce up the longevity of this game. Maybe, I don't know. But it just seems like such a distant hope with how infrequently these new characters get released, and when they do get released, it just doesn't feel like the development team did enough with these new characters or have the time to do enough with the new content additions. And so, I don't know, to me, it just feels like this game is still just delaying an inevitable death. And no matter how many characters you add, the unfortunate matter of the fact remains that the game's foundation is just too generic and boring and not as well fleshed out as it could have been, with a genre, live service, looter, brawler / shooter that doesn't quite fit the kind of game that this game should have been. More, again, campaign and story driven, more of that sort of action adventure that doesn't involve looting and stats and all these different things. I feel like unless Marvel's Avengers gets a No Man's Sky style overhaul and level of support and level of transformation, this game's just never gonna return to the radars of people who've moved on to just much better, more engaging, more fun live service experiences out there, because everyone just has a limited amount of time in their lives that they can spend playing video games. And many people right now feel like their time would go wasted being spent on Marvel's Avengers in its current state and at the rate in which it's releasing just less than compelling, not as substantial as it could be content. So yeah, the Winter Soldier recycling so many moves from existing characters, and just visually how the character was brought to life in this game, looking so generic and off and just a little strange. None of this helps spruce up the game on the level that it could have, and it really shows in the player count and how much it's struggling to go past 1,000 players, to reach 1,000 players even, and how it still remains in the sort of triple digits, and more often than not in the low triple digits. I guess only time will tell what the future holds. Who knows? Maybe Marvel's Avengers will end up surprising me in the long term, but I really think that's an unlikely prospect. But that's my take. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Marvel's Avengers. Have you gone back to it recently at all? How much do you feel like it's improved since launch? If you're one of the few who are still checking this game out, share your thoughts in the comments below. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.